Do you think Matt Murray should be suspended for his transgressions against the league?
Changing here. McDavid, beautiful move. Front back the ball, over to Crosby. He scores! Crosby, 500! Watch this play between the legs, comes right back to him.
But man, oh man, has his kid got some hands.
The net, it looks like he's going for the old Michigan. He brings it up. Miller goes to knock it off. He shoots it in front.
Oh, what a pass!
Away, gains the zone around Kubalik. Back to Foligno. He scores! With a lot of mustard on it.
Ovechkin score! The Grade 8 Express pulls into third place all time.
This is the Pucked Up Podcast.
Welcome back, Mother Puckers, to the Pucked Up Podcast. I am joined tonight by the lovely D91 and the ever bald, but still hilarious, Christopher.
She calls me bald and just uses my government name like that? The fuck?
Right?
I mean, it says Chris. People can make the reasonable assumption.
This is fair.
But
It
I
can go one of
another
two ways,
take
yeah.
If you want. Anyway, can do another. I just thought it was funny to add Christopher in there.
No, you're good. It was good.
Calling you anything but your name.
Yeah, right. How
Right.
dare you?
But yeah, welcome back. We are here for another week of the Pucked Up Podcast. Some interesting things to talk about this week. You know, we'll get into it all. But first of all, we have a couple of just little record things that Chris, I think, is going to update us on.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Listen, shout out to the Seattle Kraken. Because
Hell
in
yeah.
their second ever season,
Yeah.
they made history as the
Yep.
first team in NHL history to go 7-0 on a road stand.
Which is crazy.
They technically, after, what was it, last night? As we record this on Tuesday, so Monday
Right.
was their first loss of 2023. They're currently 8-1 this year.
Which is
Yep.
crazy. Like, I cannot talk enough about how impressed I've been with the Kraken. Just with the like, it's a fun organization. I think it always
absolutely.
has been. Last season it was fun too, but with bringing in Seabuoy and like all of the stuff on Twitter and Instagram, like Seabuoy is doing, like, just brings the Kraken team more to the forefront, and that's exciting and
Not
fun.
only that, but the players that they've upgraded with. Obviously,
Yeah.
Martin Jones has been a help in
Yeah.
net, bringing in players like Burakovsky, drafting Matty Beniers, Shane Wright.
Yeah.
Once Shane Wright gets
Here's a good
going,
one.
he's got a lot of promise. Like, there's a lot of fun things happening. There's a lot of reason to watch this team. You know,
Right. Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
And-
So
like, that's awesome for them to see them do that. Also, shout out to the New Jersey Devils, who
thought we'd ever say that in a
Amen.
uh,
sentence?
yeah, for real.
They're having an
because
incredible year.
They
They really
they
are.
also made NHL history. They are the what was it?
They have 17 out of 20 road wins to start the season, which is also an NHL record.
It's an NHL record. That's insane. In your
Yeah.
first 20 road wins, or first
That's
20
so
road games,
crazy.
you've only
You win
lost
17
3
of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, which is crazy.
I mean, and their team that they've just been on one this year.
Not to mention, 2 of those were an outright loss. One of them was an overtime loss.
Yeah. So
So,
technically
like,
only
it's
2
not
losses
even
in
3
regulation.
losses. Like, they still got a point on one of those.
Yeah, which is
right.
amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like we were all waiting for this, and I think we talked about this last week. We were all really waiting for this massive coming out party for New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, even in their last 10, they're 7-2-1,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, and they're currently on a 5-game winning streak. So, again, like, you can't do anything but praise New Jersey and what they're doing over there.
Mhm.
Oh,
Put
yeah. And I mean,
17
they've
out of 12.
already beaten their own like win total from last season. In 2021, 2022, they went 27, 46, and 9.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Like they're already playing better. That's such a drastic jump. Like you hear all the time about, teams that are rebuilding and how it's slow to get back up and get going. And they've done something incredible
Yeah.
where they've rebuilt and in a year you've seen major freaking payoff.
Oh yeah,
Right.
and they've gone from a joke of the league to one of the top teams. I mean, look at
Yeah.
you've got 3 guys on that team currently above 40 points. I mean, Jack Hughes 55, Jesper Bratt
Yep.
has 45, which he's been lighting it up. Nico Hischier or Hischier, he's got 43. I mean, Jesus, Dougie Hamilton's almost got 40. So
Yeah.
like that the team is looking
Absolutely crazy.
really good. And
Yeah.
I mean, Vanacek has had a decent, I would say, I guess, a decent bounce back. Last year, he felt like a bit of a disappointment in some
Right.
cases.
Yeah.
But I mean, that pairing with him and Blackwood, it's going really well over
I think
there.
it's going well.
It is.
So,
I agree.
Yeah.
shout out to those franchises for big history. Like those aren't numbers to gawk at.
No.
You got to give love. And as of time of recording, the only team that we just discussed that is playing is the Kraken. They're currently tied 1-1 in the second with the Oilers.
Okay.
Oh, that should be a good match.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially with, and I know we'll talk about it a little bit more later, but with Kane coming back tonight,
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how he does.
Is he?
He hasn't played since November 8th,
Yeah, I know.
I think is when he
Yeah.
went out.
And he's back
And that's a
way
long time.
earlier than anyone thought he was going
Oh,
to be.
yeah. Like,
Oh my God, yeah.
so it'll be interesting to see how much ice time he has. I wish I was watching the game and I'm not because my ADD will take over. But it'll be fun to see like highlights of how well he does. Just if it's going to affect him at all. Having been off the ice for 2 months, a little over 2 months.
Right.
I don't think it will. I mean, thankfully it was a wrist injury, but I mean, we can talk more about it later. But I did, because you brought up the Oilers, I was like, oh, it'll be interesting to see how he meshes back with
Yeah.
the team, because I know they haven't always had the most camaraderie in that locker room. So
Yeah.
when it comes to Kane.
Right.
Now, we're going to just talk about a little like new segment, I guess is what we can call it. We're just going to start talking about like the contract signings, trades, that kind of stuff on a more consistent basis. It may not be every week, but maybe every other or something like that. And because this is somewhat new, we're going to talk about the 5 people that have signed or re-signed so far this year. So since January 2nd, since they nothing happened on the 1st. But we have, I'm going to probably butcher this, but Nickel Perbix, Nickel, it's Nicl. Nickel, I feel like, is correct. So Nickel Perbix
Yeah.
signed a 2-year, $2.25 million contract extension with Tampa Bay. Jimmy, they say, signed a 2-year, $1.6 million contract extension with the Rangers.
Oh, I
Just-
figured they'd re-sign VC. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Justin Bailey signed a 1-year, $750,000 contract. I can read numbers. Let's try that again. Justin Bailey signed a 1-year, $750,000 contract with Edmonton. Speaking of Edmonton, we have Pavel Zaka
Pavel
signed
Zacha.
Zaka. Okay, Pavel Zaka signed a 4-year, $19 million contract extension with Boston. And what brought up this whole thought process of doing this, my boy Matt Boldy signed a 7-year, $49 million contract extension with the Minnesota Wild, averages to about $7 million a year. For a guy that's 21 years old, not a bad deal.
No.
And we were talking about
Absolutely.
it earlier, my grandma and I, and just the fact that like he's only going to get better. And so really that's a great contract signing for us as a team, because Boldy's only going to continue to get better. He already is better than he played last year. So
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
actually, his numbers
are phenomenal.
are
Considering.
for where he was at, and he played only 47 games last year. So
Right.
if you're halfway through
Right.
the season, I assume he's been up all year.
Yeah, he's been up all year.
His numbers are going to skyrocket.
Yeah, and
I
he
would say.
started, I think, every game. I don't think he's been hurt yet this year or been out, held out or scratched. So he has started at just about every game, if I remember
Does he play
correctly.
top 6? Do you know? Is he on your top 2 lines, or do you have him down a little
I
farther?
believe so. He might be the third line, but I think right now he's second line. I might be wrong.
I mean, and honestly, that's not a.
Dean changes it so much, though. To be honest, it's so hard to keep up with.
Oh yeah,
his
well
lines.
that's been the same with Anaheim recently.
It's like every fucking
Yep.
week they do something different. But yeah, so those are our contract updates for right now. At least that I know. If anybody knows of any other ones or something
I
I
haven't
missed,
seen any.
I
No,
haven't either, and I don't think there have been like really any trades yet.
I'm not
This year.
surprised.
I've seen.
December 19th was the last set of trades that I pull up on this website. So
Yeah, when we
Right.
had that 3-way trade between the
yeah,
Panthers, the Red
Florida,
Wings, and
Detroit, and
Anaheim.
Anaheim. Yeah,
Yeah,
and then Toronto and the Avs
right.
for that same day. But yeah,
Mhm.
so nothing trade wise so far this year yet.
No.
Yeah. I will
is
say I'm
good.
not surprised with the production of Pavel Zacha. I'm not surprised Boston
No.
re-signed him. Jimmy Vesey fits the Rangers mold perfectly. And if we're looking at average 7x7 for a young player like Boldy is a great contract. His cap
Right.
hit is literally $7 million a year. You guys,
Yeah.
that's a perfect number for a young player.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
what you're doing is
absolutely.
you're putting your faith in the future while also giving him the opportunity to have players around him, because
Right.
that being a very cap friendly contract,
Right.
and for a
It
team
does
that's
mean-
probably going to have to lose some players.
Right. Yeah, I was just gonna say, as a
Unfortunately.
team, like we're losing Dumba for sure. I think that that's pretty much set in stone at this point. We are most likely losing Greenway as well. Personally, and Dee's gonna want to fight me on this. I would rather have Reeves than both Dumba and Greenway combined,
Oh my God, why?
because he doesn't just stand there and do nothing.
Yeah, but he doesn't also. He's not helping you any either. Like he may hit
Sure he
and
is.
do some
Yeah,
stuff like that occasionally,
He's gotten
but
like at least one assist so far since he's been with us.
yeah, he has 0 goals in 31 games and maybe 1 assist. Ooh.
Right.
So-
but same with Greenway and
You won't have to worry about
Dumba.
Greenway. Greenway still has like 2 years left in his contract.
yeah, but we might
My
trade
thing
him
is
away.
that
Yeah, but he's
I
gotta
don't think for the
It-
money
we've
Reeves
been
is any
trying to
better
trade
than
Dumba
Dumba
away,
or
but
Greenway.
nobody wants Dumba. So is the rumor anyway.
I mean, because his
I don't know how true that
contract is ridiculous.
right.
Yeah.
But
My
So
thing
it'll be
is, I don't
interesting
think Evander Kane, or I mean, Evander Kane. Sorry,
I
I
don't
was
think Evander Kane
I was
anyway.
just I was looking at Twitter to see because the game has started. I don't think that Ryan Reeves is helpful in the locker room, which I think
I
Minnesota needs as well. If you're
disagree. I think the energy he brings to the locker room and off the ice has brought our playing up a peg. I really do. I see
That's
something different than the
interesting.
guys when Reeves, like when he read out the starting lineup and just the other interactions I've seen him with the players. It's actually been really good. And tonight even he
I just
looked
don't
like anyway
see
he
it.
was trying to fight somebody on the Caps team and they were like, I don't want any, and he was like, I'm fine, and he skates away like kind of upset. But I think it was more playful than anything. But it'll be interesting.
From
And-
everything
and-
that I've seen of his interactions, like when he was in New York, he was doing the same thing with reading out the lineups, and he's like screaming at his teammates, and they all just looked so uncomfy.
Yeah.
And maybe
And I
like that's a
think it just
huge
is
difference
because
between New
he-
York and Minnesota. But I
Right.
think still he has such like an ego to him that to me doesn't speak to leadership. It speaks
Well,
more
and I'm not-
to other
yeah.
things, and I think that Minnesota needs more leadership. I would love to see someone I mean, I don't want to give him away, but I would love to see you guys get someone like TJ Oshie who can get people pumped up
I mean,
in
we'll
like a
take
Labrador
Oshie if you
Retriever
want to
way.
give Oshie to us.
Absolutely not. Oshie
We'll
will
take
retire
it.
a
I mean,
cap.
we will happily
There's
take
I
it.
feel like
no
at this
fucking
point,
way.
We would
Oshie's
take
probably going to retire a
Trevor.
cap,
We
or he'll
would,
go back
you
to
know,
St.
I mean,
Louis.
there is.
I
we would take
think
Matthew,
Oshie would sooner retire from the league than go anywhere else.
go anywhere.
I'm not
Yeah.
even like that's not even funny.
The
like
only
yeah.
the only other place I
legitimately,
could see
I think
him,
he's a cap.
yeah, the only
Yeah.
other place I could see him is going back to St. Louis. That's about it.
No, he'd go to Seattle. That's where his whole family's from.
Oh yeah,
He'd
that's
go
true.
home.
And I do
He-
think though,
If anyone
Reeves-
else offers him anything, it's Seattle. That would be the only place so he can retire at home. But ultimately, I think he sees Washington as home now.
So
yeah,
Now, I'm
he's been there long.
looking at the numbers really
Yeah.
quick while you guys were talking. I'm looking at Minnesota's numbers. Realistically, all you guys really only have to probably get rid of one player, because currently right now your cap hit is 3.7. If you
Okay.
look at next year, not changing anything,
Yeah.
not re-signing Dumba, that's really it. You guys
Yeah,
are probably
if that's
because
all we have
Greenway's
to do,
contract,
then
it's only a
great.
3 million cap hit. So
Right.
in reality, it's not going to be a huge it'll be a loss
Well, I
because
thought, because Dumba is 3 million and Greenway is 6.
No, it's the other way around.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
Dumba's
yeah,
6.
So
And Greenway
yeah,
just
so-
it's on a first year of his 3-year deal, so
right,
you know,
right.
I could
And
see.
I would rather keep Greenway than Dumba right now. And Dumba is a nice guy. I liked him for a while, but lately he just seems lazy. Now he did get injured. He, came back and started slow from an injury, and I understand that. But I don't know. He's a big dude, but we have other big dudes on our team that I just feel like we don't need him as much.
Yeah, he's definitely
Um,
off to a rough start this year.
Yeah, and he had it rough getting hurt so quick in the season
Yeah,
because he missed a bunch of games from what I remember.
he's not a guy, and I like Dumba as a player, but he's not
Yeah.
a guy that's going to go out and light up the scoreboard every year.
Oh
He's
God, no.
He's
No.
about a 25 to 30 point guy a year.
Yeah, if that. And
Yeah.
he did I think score, I don't know, was this week or last week? Well, this is this week. So within the last 2 weeks, I think Dumba did actually have a goal.
Yeah, against Buffalo. He had a goal
Yeah,
and an
yeah.
assist against Buffalo.
I took a picture of this and I might have to share it in the Discord, but it cracked me up when I was watching the Buffalo game. It came up on the ticker on the bottom and it said, the Sabres have lost 3 out of 4 games against Buffalo. And I'm like, but they've played themselves. They've been playing with themselves and losing. How the fuck does that happen? Like, but it just cracked me up so much. I had to take a picture of it because I'm like, well, somebody didn't do their job right today.
Yeah, somebody screwed up big time.
Not quite as great as the Brad Marchand's penalty for existing.
Yeah, that is so
High
funny.
fives, major bad respect to whoever wrote that because thank you. But yeah, that just cracked me up. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what we can do. We're definitely the Wild are on the right track now. I think we're
looking at the stats between Ryan Reeves and Matthew Dumba. Dumba is 4 goals, 7 assists, for a +3, and Reeves is 0 goals, 5 assists for -5. So when you look at the statistics.
Right. No, and I'm not saying
Not
he's a better player. I think he's better for our locker room than Dumba.
Well, no, you had
Because-
said that you think that Greenway and Dumba stand around and Reeves is out there doing stuff, but he's out there
I
doing stuff
do,
that's
but-
hurt the team. And that's just with
No,
you
but
guys. He
I
also
don't think that
sucked
Reeves
at
has really
New
hurt
York,
the
too.
team as much as I think he hurt the team in New York. But he's
Well,
like
he's a
up-
-5 with just you. He was a
with
-13
just us. Okay, because
with
I had
just
seen that
you.
he had gone up a little
No,
bit
he
since
was-
coming to Minnesota.
He's at -5 with you. He was at -13 playing for
Yeah.
New York over
So
69 games.
He has come up though. From
69 games
-13.
versus 35, so he's come up by like a point and a half.
Yeah.
When you sort of average those two out.
Right, if you average it out,
But he's also
and I
not
know he's
producing
not
as many
everybody's favorite
hits.
player. I just think he meshes better in our locker room. And
I will
that
say
energy
he
that
has
brings.
taken less penalties since he came to
He
you
does.
guys.
Yes, he does. He has calmed down on the
And
penalties.
he's blocked more.
Yeah. And I think that, he played with Zuccarello. He's played with Fleury before. So I think that helped him in coming into Minnesota, was having some of these past relationships. I don't know.
That being
like
said,
him as a player.
I don't see them re-signing him.
I don't either. He's an unrestricted free agent this year.
Yeah, they signed him on a 1-year deal.
Yeah, I knew that they signed him on a 1-year
re-signed.
deal. But like I said, I don't know. I don't know where else Reeves would go.
He's 36. I don't know if he's going to go anywhere.
Yeah,
to be
I wonder if
honest
this
with
will
you.
be it for.
I know that sounds shitty when we're talking about like
signing him
Ovechkin
for
being
another
37.
2-year deal,
Which
or a year deal.
I feel like it'd be
only if he takes a pay cut. Because at 1.75 million,
That's
and
a big
he's
cap
a
hit
negative 5 on ice team,
Yeah.
that's a big cap hit for
Right,
him
but if
not
he comes
actually
down a little
providing
bit.
much on ice. But that's what I'm saying. He would have to come down, and I don't think he would, because I think that there are other people who have more money to throw around than the Wild does.
Yeah.
That he would rather try and get those deals. It's a
feel
matter
like that
of whether or
money
not
you
people
could
are going
use
to take
somewhere.
it.
For Minnesota,
Yeah.
you could use that 1.75 somewhere else.
We probably could. If we lose Dumba and Reeves, we have Greenway and Foligno as our like big dudes, right?
And they're not going to get rid of Foligno.
No, God, Foligno's fucking
absolutely
crossing,
not.
bitches. Like, Foligno's not going anywhere. If he does, I'm gonna riot.
But
like,
imagine
Foligno,
who you could
Zook,
get.
and Kirill can't leave.
If you give up Dumba and Reeves, like imagine who other
right, but I don't know
what
who
other
we
big
would
dudes
go
can
for.
you sign?
That's the thing. I don't know who we could sign. That
it
would
depends. It depends on what the
Minnesota.
offseason looks like. Is the question. Who's a UFA in the offseason? Because you guys do need defense. That's a huge
our defense
gap.
is atrocious on a daily basis. Also,
I mean, and even Foligno's contract is cap friendly. His cap hit's only 3.1.
Yeah,
that's pretty cap friendly.
Yeah.
I think
because Foligno
Kaprizov's making the most right now, isn't he?
Oh yeah, by far. But he's also up in 2026.
Yeah, well, they're not going to get rid of him. He's young.
God no. If we do, I'm fucking rioting. Like,
I mean, DeBrincat is an unrestricted free agent. He's a right winger.
Yeah, because you know what?
DeBrincat would be great for you guys.
Yeah, but he's a right winger, not a defense.
No, but that's
so
a
is
young goal scorer.
Reeves is also a right winger.
Yeah.
So if you give up Reeves and Dumba, you have a
You
right
lose
winger who is worth
winger.
the same amount of money, but is way better producer.
How the fuck did we end up third in the division and above Colorado? I'll take it.
Also, for around the same amount of money, Pasta, although he's wanting more, which is why Boston's not doing so hot right now.
Right.
Pasta wants a lot of money, but right now, because Dumba is 6 mil cap hit, DeBrincat is 6.4.
That's barring. Well, not only that, but his contract's up, but he's an RFA at the end of the year. So really,
that's right, he is an RFA.
Kind of up to Ottawa if they want to keep him. I don't see them getting rid of him. DeBrincat has been playing pretty well for them this year. So
Hornquist is also a UFA.
And Hornquist is a good,
I don't see Hornquist coming here.
I don't
think he wants to come here.
I think he would be a good buy.
Oh,
I agree. I don't think he would agree to come to Minnesota.
Yeah. That is the other part of this, is like who's gonna
I mean,
be
that's
there.
And maybe I'm wrong, but from what I remember of Hornquist, he is not a fan of Minnesota in general. He just doesn't like the state. No.
I didn't realize that Jonas Donskoy was going to be unrestricted this season. I hope Seattle resigns him.
I don't think Seattle lets him go.
I don't think they should let him go. I hope not.
No.
I think they'd be crazy to let him.
Yeah.
No. And because,
that's why I'm surprised he's not snapped up yet.
I didn't mean for this to turn into like breaking down the Wild, but we have Addison on D, we have Spurge, who isn't going anywhere, Dumba, Merrill, who I think we'll keep, Brodin we're keeping, Middleton we'll keep. Also, he's fucking weird and doesn't wear underwear under his fucking...
That is weird.
That's gross.
Like, he wears his cup and that's it. Like, walks around the locker room with his ass cheeks hanging out, which is hilarious to me.
There's a laundry list of big players that are free agents at the end.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a
Patrick
lot.
Kane,
coming
Yeah.
up.
Jonathan
Which is
Taves,
interesting.
Ryan
Like, and
O'Reilly,
to be honest, like I haven't looked at who all's contracts are coming up across the league.
Dylan Larkin's
I
a
just
free agent.
okay. So yeah, and then so we've got Goligoski, who I think will retire. He's my age. He's slowing down. He's a scratch in a lot of games.
Yeah.
And he has a $2 million contract. I don't know when his contract is up though. Though he has actually been like doing decently well the games that he has been in since his 1000th game. But anyway,
There are a lot of
need-
options out there. Is all
there
we're
are,
saying.
and
Like,
we'll have to look at it more.
We're gonna-
Because I am curious
Yeah.
to look at whose contracts are up. But
Andre Kasha's contract is up in Carolina. And he's only
He's
1.5.
defense, right?
That's crazy. He's a right winger.
right winger, So we
6
would have to
foot,
get rid of
187 pounds.
right winger. He's kind of a big dude too, though.
Yeah. I like
Yeah,
Andre
because if
Kasha.
we got rid of Reeves, we could pick up Kasha.
My mic was muted
it's
the
the
whole time
same
I was talking to
salary.
you guys.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Because we can't really see your camera as well.
No,
like
it's
your
fine. I
smaller
also muted it
camera.
because I
had
opened
no
I
idea.
opened a can and I didn't want to make the pop.
Oh,
the pop.
No,
Yeah.
if you guys want to see us do a whole like episode of
Breakdown.
a like breakdown or a separate video of like
Mhm.
breakdowns and stuff, let us know. Could
Yeah,
you
and
imagine
for
if you
any
guys
teams,
stole
let us-
Nick Foligno from Boston?
would
Oh,
we
two
steal Nick
Folignos?
Foligno for Boston?
Have both Boston? Yeah, because Nick's a free agent.
Could we handle
Yeah.
both Foligno boys on the same fucking team?
I don't
I
think
don't
the
know.
league
I
can
think-
handle two Foligno
Honestly,
boys on the
I'm
same
here
team.
for
love
that
Nick
chaos.
I am too.
I'm
But
here
you
for
know
that
those two
chaos.
boys would spread chaos. Have you seen them play
my
each
God.
other?
They'd be the real life Bash Brothers.
Oh,
you know what I
They-
mean?
that is true. They would be the real.
For that
life
purpose
brothers.
alone, you guys have to get Nick Foligno.
That would be awesome because
Timo
my dream
Meyer,
was always
Jason
to get
Zucker.
Saka Koivu on the team too with
Mhm.
Miko.
I mean,
Also,
Also-
and that never happened.
Bo Horvat's a UFA. Rumor is he wants out.
Yeah.
I don't know
Actually,
who
that's a
that
big.
is.
That's very
big
true.
rumor. We've
Why is
talked
that
about it
name
once.
doesn't-
Bo Horvath wants
Yeah.
out. And I
He
mean,
wants out.
a lot
like,
of players
some
want
kind
out
way.
of Vancouver right now. I heard rumor that Elias Pettersson wants out too. So
He's a center though.
Yeah.
But his
I
his
don't
cap hit is
know.
5.5.
this current,
I don't know who we would get rid of. I mean, well, Freddie Gaudreau's contract is up this year, and I don't know if he's going to re-sign with the
Mhm.
Wild. I would love him to, but I don't know that he will, and he's a center.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, we've got Connor Dewar, Joel Eriksson, who won't go anywhere, Mason Shaw, who's
No.
doing awesome, and Sam Steele.
and I love Sam.
Connor Dewar, is he still with you guys?
Wow, Cam Talbot's contract's up at the end of the year.
Yeah, he got signed
We're
just
gonna
for a
see
1-year deal, or one and
a
a half,
lot
or
of
whatever
movement.
with playoffs.
I think we're
we
going to see
are
a lot of
too.
interesting things. And it might not be
makes
movement,
me
but it might be
nervous.
big contracts.
Right.
I'm here for us doing a special live event during
Well, that
opening
could
of
be fun.
opening of free agency in the off season. Maybe
That could
even
be fun.
trade deadline.
Let us know.
And if you guys are
be
interested in that, let us know because I am totally in for doing that.
Yeah, that could be fun.
The
He'll
opening a
make
trade
$10
deadline and all
million
that because I
a
think
year.
this year we're going to see a lot of movement.
Yeah.
This is totally
Yeah.
off topic of what we had planned, but like this is important stuff to talk about. We're halfway through
Right.
the
No,
season.
no.
You know?
Yeah.
No. And we'll break down like any team you guys want to. Like it doesn't have to be just our 3 teams. If you have a favorite team
Right.
that you want to see us break down what we think, let us know.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't mind deep diving into some other teams and players and kind of seeing what I think.
hmm
So, but that's all I have for contract updates.
We're 6
Yeah.
weeks away from the
Awesome.
trade deadline, by the way.
Jesus,
Okay.
things are gonna amp up really fast.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is hard. Like I'm a simple girl. I like my familiarity. So when this time of year happens, my poor little heart just can't handle it and doesn't know what to do because I like the guys that we have. Does
Right.
that mean I'm going to hate everybody that comes in? No, it just means I'm going to mourn the guys that we get rid of. Like, and even that goes for Dumba too. I like Dumba as a guy, as a player. He just hasn't overly impressed me this year. But again,
Yeah.
he was hurt. So, you have to take that into consideration.
Right. That's fair.
It'll be interesting.
That's fair.
It'll be interesting.
Well, should we jump into some
you
talk
have
about
An
an
update,
update
right?
around the Matt Murray situation? Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
I mean,
And then
so
we'll get
there's
into the
nothing
question of the week.
concrete yet. But we did see Michael Russo tweeting out that he was in the situation room during when oh my gosh, I forgot his name. Matt Murray, like literally was pushing it off, and you saw a video of him like
Yeah.
pushing it off,
Yeah.
and supposedly that was him trying to signal to the refs, like, "Hey, there's a problem here." So he had tweeted out that he was in the situation room when Murray was wiggling the net during a TV timeout. The league is actually testing nets coming up, but also clipping goalies taking the nets off of moorings and bringing examples to the general managers meeting in March. Murray's
Okay.
net came off twice that night. And so he said that they are very aware of of it happening, and they are going to be investigating Matt Murray, but we won't hear anything until March, until that meeting occurs.
Right.
So I know we were all talking about it, and we had all heard rumors that the NHL was going to look into it. But the biggest update is that we're going to have to wait a couple more months before anything happens, which is low-key frustrating because right now we're in an important stretch for teams as they're trying to like secure their playoff berth and everything like that. So it's frustrating that there's not going to be any action because he very clearly is knocking it off on purpose in a lot of cases.
Well, yeah.
But at the same time, it's like a league-wide thing because Matt Murray isn't the only goalie that's done it this year, unfortunately. And so I guess that
Well,
this is how they've decided to go about
The
it.
problem is
And I
he's the
think-
one that's been seen doing it more than anyone
He's
else.
the one that's been seen
Correct.
doing it purposefully multiple times a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think is the three big differentiates.
Yeah, and at
Yeah.
least with someone like Michael Russo, you're getting like he's a
I love Russo,
credible. I mean, even though he's strictly a Wild reporter, he's a credible source.
He is.
Like
he is.
everything
And he's
he
an
said was
incredible
always
reporter.
Russo's
He is
always on stuff. So at
on
least
top of shit.
yeah.
Like
with him, we know we're getting like credible stuff.
top
you know,
tier stuff.
correct.
Really nice guy too, by the way.
Is he?
I ran into him actually talking to the Wild's like explosives dog handler because I always
Oh,
have to
yeah.
see her. She's my girl, Sakira, love her. Rich, if you're listening to this, what's up? Love her, love your dog. I've told him multiple times if she ever goes missing, it's not at my house. And he just laughs and he's like, I go, no, seriously, if for some reason you ever like can't take care of her anymore, let us know. We'll take her.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was talking to them one day and all of a sudden I look over and it's Russo right behind my shoulder and I was like, hi. But I think he was trying to go in with like his media bag and stuff, so Sakira had to check it. But yeah, it'll be interesting. But yeah, Russo is a very credible
Yeah.
reporter.
Absolutely.
source,
And he doesn't like to spread rumors. Like he'll report
No.
rumors, but he clearly says, this is a rumored thing going on.
Right.
And so he's definitely a good source. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't know, because I know Matt Murray was like trying to say, oh well, all the goalies do it, blah blah blah.
But
I
like
think
they
he's
don't.
They
over-
don't.
It happens so
They
many
don't.
times a game for him, and it just
Mhm.
can't be that bad, right? Like the
Yeah.
post can't be that bad for
No,
just
I
their
mean,
team.
To happen that many times in that many consecutive games in that many different arenas, like
Right.
those factors,
Yeah.
if it was happening every game in his home arena, maybe you can just say that they
Yeah.
have really
Oh,
shit
yeah.
ice. Like Cap One Arena has really shit ice. Do you know how many times our posts are knocked off though?
Oh, not that many.
Not anywhere
not
as
that many.
frequently as when
Not
Matt
that
Murray's in
many.
that.
Right.
Like
Right.
it's, but we have bad ice. You know what I mean? So like I could see a world we're in. Like
Right.
it's just a bad.
And there's a few
net
arenas that
situation.
have just
But-
ice that they, no matter what, they can't figure out how to
They
make it
can't
Right.
figure shit
perfect.
with.
Yeah.
Same with a lot of
But,
arenas with
I mean,
boards. A lot of
even the
boards play
Wild, like
different.
I think have decent ice for people, and it happened at least 3 times when they played us, and that's
Yeah.
not, I mean, do the goals come off every game? Yeah, at least once on one of the sides,
Yeah,
but that's
something
not
happens. Yeah,
multiple times per game.
right.
But
Um,
when that happens, like for us, it's mostly because you have players skating into it full force trying to make the
Right.
goal and they don't
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah,
Like that's
Yeah.
going to come off no matter what.
yeah, absolutely.
We're not talking about like I don't see Kemper pushing off of the net that
Right.
much to the point where it's knocking it loose.
Yeah, like
Right.
the
And you know
Talbots
that
and
Matt Murray was
Ottingers and
trained
those
enough.
types of goalies. No, they're not kicking them
Right.
off all the time. No.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Fleury, I think they were trying to say at one point that Fleury did it, and I really don't think that it was an intentional thing on Fleury. But he, it looked like he kicked off of it, but I think he just purely was like moving himself forward, but because he was like sprawled out like a chicken, it looked like he kicked off of it.
Right.
Or that, let me rephrase. He definitely kicked off of it. I don't think it was an intentional kick off to dislodge the net.
Right.
If that makes sense.
And I think it every once in a while it's gonna happen.
Yeah, absolutely. You're gonna
once
kick
in a
off
blue
little.
moon. Like once maybe a season, I could give goalies a pass for pushing off the net intentionally, unintentionally, whatever. When it's happening every game and multiple times a game, then I have a problem because then you're doing it either intentionally or with disregard.
Right.
If I were your coach, I'd be pissed if you were doing it with disregard. And I'd be pissed if you were doing it intentionally because eventually we get to a situation where we're looking at punishment.
Like we're at now.
And that is leading into the question of the week. To continue the conversation, though, is what type of penalty should the NHL issue against Matt Murray?
Honestly, I want them to take a hard stance, and I want a suspension.
How long do you think he should be suspended for?
Max 2 games.
I think that's
honestly
fair.
I don't think it's anything. It needs to be more than 1 because 1 isn't enough of a penalty.
Yeah.
2 games, maybe you could get away with 3, but I think it needs to send a message to the rest of the league saying like, hey, if we determine that you're doing this with frequency, with intent, we're going to take it seriously. Just because you're a goalie doesn't mean that you can just do whatever the fuck you want on the ice.
Right.
Yeah, I think this is in a weird spot, right? Because it's one of those things where this is kind of a new territory for the NHL, and I can't remember the last time this happened, And and the question really remains is, what's the right punishment? We can all say what we think is the right punishment, but the problem is first of all, you have to be able to confirm without a doubt that he's doing this on purpose. We all know that he probably is doing a lot of this on purpose.
Right.
It's about what they can prove and like what would be the right punishment, which is obviously the question. I don't know. I mean, a suspension is probably the best bet because, like Dee said, that's a hard line in the sand that says you do this and this is what happens.
Right.
100%. A fine, honestly, I'm even okay with a fine. I feel like even like if this were to be a point where we get within the next couple weeks some sort of confirmation of what they're going to do, which it's like you guys said, it's going to be probably a couple months out. I would like to see All-Star game taken away. We're not going to see that. I don't know. It's such a hard question. I don't think he should be
on the All-Star roster at all.
Agreed.
Yeah, I don't think he should be a candidate for it this year.
I do just want to say, Chris, you were saying about goalies being suspended. We did have a goalie suspended last season. Buffalo Sabres goaltender Aaron Dell was suspended for interference with a player. As a player for Ottawa's racing around, he kind of clotheslined him.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the only thing that was not the only goalie to have been suspended. McLennan.
Which we saw Murray do that earlier this year.
Slashing.
A few weeks ago to I think it was Jason Zucker when Toronto played Pittsburgh. He just took him out.
Yeah.
Blatantly sucker punched him.
So they are rare, but we have had a couple of instances.
Right.
So it's not like it's uncalled for.
And when I say that, I mean more of the situation we're in now with what he's doing.
Right.
I can't think of a time where we've seen a goalie constantly knocking the net off of the pegs on purpose. I can't recall the time where this has happened. So it's a very difficult question. But I agree with you, Dee. I think a hard line in the sand saying if you do this, you get suspended. Done.
Right.
I like that idea. I think that's a smart move.
I do too. And I think I'm looking at his salary because I'm trying to determine. Like, he has a $7 million salary this season.
Yeah.
Cap hit of $6,250,000. I don't know that a fine is going to punish him as much as he does. I think that if it's only a fine, he will turn around and do it again.
Yep. Well, and I also think there's
His
a
contract
conversation
is
to be
also
had about
next year.
the coaches and their culpability in this, because
Right.
he has done this in more than one game. If it was one game, you can be like, yeah, that's the player being an asshole. He got a talking
Right.
to. It stopped. We're still going to fine him because it was inappropriate. But because it's happened in multiple games, clearly his coaching staff is either encouraging him or not discouraging him enough,
Right.
which would
Right.
be them sitting them of
So-
their own volition.
That's
So because that's not
Or
happening,
Do we
then I
maybe
think the
fine the
team
team
needs to
then?
really
I
have
was
a penalty.
Danger. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, is this one of the
Do
situations
we
where
then,
you literally
fine
find the team?
in addition to suspending Murray? Can they even do both?
Yeah,
They
I mean,
can do both.
the league can do whatever they
Like
My
we
want.
said
thing- my
before, we need
question
to make an
is-
example of this situation.
I would really need to look at the collective bargaining agreement to know if that has ever been negotiated for
It happened. Yeah.
previously. Because no matter what, the NHLPA is going to get involved in this because of the collective bargaining agreement. So they are going to have, no matter what happens, I expect to hear from them. If it's anything more than a 2 to 3 game suspension, the NHLPA will fight it. There will be a arbitration. If the team is also fined, I don't know if the NHLPA handles that or if the team handles that arbitration. But I can't imagine, like when we talk about recent fines for teams, I mean, you had, who was it? The Maple Leafs actually, funnily enough, violating the collective bargaining agreement for travel on the 28th and for demeaning conduct directed at the officials. So they've been fined as a team twice this season.
Right.
For a total of $125,000.
Right.
So where do you go from there in terms of fine? $100,000 for traveling during the break obviously wasn't as much of a deterrent as the NHL thought, because the team went ahead and did it even though they knew that they would get fined for it.
Right.
So what amount of money does make sense? And that's where I don't know where the collective bargaining agreement hits its cap with that, because
That's fair.
$100,000 is a fuck ton of money.
Yeah. It'll be
Yeah.
interesting. That's for sure.
I
Yeah.
just, like I said, I think it's a weird situation that it's really hard to say what the league is even considering.
Yeah.
And what the right punishment is,
Right.
But I feel like,
Yeah.
I think that there are multiple avenues.
oh yeah,
There are, for sure. It's something has to be done, because otherwise this is not going to stop. And like I said, I just don't foresee, a fine only to Murray as stopping him in the future.
I think if you penalize
a team
the team,
fine,
yeah,
a team
the
fine,
team will cut that shit real fast if they get fined. They're like,
Well,
guess
and
what? You're
especially
not
if they
doing anymore.
say-
That.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and I suppose they can't really say, but I was going to be, if it's every time he does it, you get fined, but then it's an objective thing of how do you tell if it's an
determine that?
purposeful thing or not. So that's difficult, but yeah, I think if the team were to get fined and, if you suspend Murray for 2 or 3 games, I mean, that's a decent amount of his salary that he loses, and it's more than he would have if he just got fined. So not only is he not playing, he is losing money.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a shitty situation. It's a dumb thing. He just be better, Matt Murray, be better.
Yeah.
Well, I think, with Matt Murray, there's a lot to talk about there. It'll be interesting to see what the league does for punishment. I am happy that they're doing something at least.
If you guys want to get your questions answered, as always, hit us up in our comments and send us stuff on social media and our Discords. We love hearing from you.
We had a couple of other notable mentions, kind of exciting stuff, and we just found out that Mitch Marner broke a record. Chris, do you want to talk about that a little bit since you have it pulled up?
Yeah. Mitch Marner just tied a franchise record. Or, I'm sorry, he set a franchise record. I should say this correctly.
Yeah.
He now holds a franchise record for a 19-game home point streak.
Crazy.
Dude,
insane.
Mitch has been on one this year. This is not the first crazy point streak he's had. He's got 52 points in 44 games.
Yeah.
Good for
16
him.
goals, 36 assists. Like, Mitch is having a Mitch Marner year.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, oh
Right.
yeah. Love Mitch, good guy, great player. Love seeing him do well. But yeah, here's a positive note for the Toronto Maple Leafs right now. It's Mitch Marner.
Right.
Uh,
But
Yep.
good for him, though. I mean, he is definitely a player worth getting his limelight, let's say.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
I
I had said off air, like, I don't feel like I've said the name Mitch Marner as many times as I have this season in my life.
yeah, for
Yeah.
real. I know he's been playing really well.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep.
for sure. And he's that's like the second or third record he's broken this year, right?
Yeah, either he's tied or
I think
broken.
it's his second one.
It's like 2 this year.
Yeah.
The kid is on one.
Yeah.
And again, they've got to listen. You don't have to worry about talent in Toronto for a while.
Right.
Also,
Yeah.
really quickly before we move on, I do want to talk about today. It was just announced SiriusXM and the NHL announced their multi-year contract extension for broadcasting agreements. For those that don't know, they have a 24/7 channel dedicated to the NHL, including some broadcasts and a lot of games for a lot of teams to broadcast. It is extended to the 2028-29 season. So
Nice.
SiriusXM staying around.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
One other notable thing that we missed as well is that Ovechkin has now tied Mark Gartner for the 30th most, or the most 30-goal seasons in NHL history,
Which is
with
insane.
17.
Right.
So one more season of just getting 30 goals, which is easily fucking doable, puts him in first in that category as well.
Right.
Also, shout out to Mike Gartner for also being a Washington Capital player.
Conveniently enough, it happens.
Conveniently enough, he's currently
A
tied
Caps
with like
player.
someone. Yeah.
Also, we do want to send our love to the family of Gino Ojic.
Yes. Yes.
His sad passing. He played
Yesterday. The
Yeah.
day before yesterday.
he had a pretty long career. He played 605 games in the NHL. One of the most notable enforcers in the NHL in the last 30
Yeah.
years. 2,567 penalty minutes.
He says he lived
was
in
a bad
that
boy.
penalty box, huh? He had
Yeah.
gotten everything.
For real, as he was
Exactly.
nicknamed the Algonquin Assassin.
Fitting, I feel.
But sending our love to the Ojic family. That's
And he's young.
Yeah.
Like, that
52,
scares me.
very
He's
young.
the same age as my mom.
Real quick, Evander Kane is back playing
he played
today.
tonight.
He's playing tonight, and not only is he playing tonight, but I think he may have just scored a goal. Maybe is what I'm
Really?
seeing on Twitter. So I'm checking on that right now to see if people lied to me, because that is also very possible that someone
Well,
on
and
the
it
internet
might
lied.
be a situation like we had, because we had in the Buffalo game, Kirill scored, and it would have been his 100th goal of his career.
Mm-hmm.
And they took the fucking goal away because I think it was
You
Sam
hate to see
Field
it.
was offsides. And Kirill was ever so slightly offsides, and I think had the other player of ours, and I think it was Steele. I'm sorry if it wasn't, and I'm remembering wrong. We're going to blame
Yeah.
Sam for this one. But yeah, he was way past the line, and Kirill's just 1 foot across the line. But it was so sad because we were like all hyped for him for his 100th goal. So it might be a case like that. Hopefully not, but
No, Kane does
Okay.
not have any points tonight.
Kane does not have one, so someone lied to me online, which
he's
is
played 12
Liars.
minutes though, so
Liars.
shocking.
right?
And I think
Everything
he
on the
must
internet is true, I
have.
thought.
So he did have a shot on goal, but it was saved.
Okay.
He's
by
got
Martin
6
Jones,
shots
who is-
tonight. So
That's
Yeah, so
impressive, actually.
he's come back and he's playing hard,
oh
And
yeah,
a nice slap
which
shot,
is
too. Which,
honestly,
honestly,
yeah, it was a
to see a
slapper.
slap shot, because wasn't that his dominant hand that he got cut on? Or was it his
yeah.
non-dominant? I don't know if he's a righty or
I-
lefty. I think it was his left wrist.
I don't know. That's
it
a
was
great
his left
question.
wrist. He is
Right?
he's a lefty, yeah. So
Okay, so it is his
Yeah.
dominant hand. So the fact that he was able to shoot a slap shot this soon after the surgery that he had is awesome.
Only 10
and
weeks.
still play.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
10
And
weeks.
he was
which is-
averaging almost a point a game too before it
Right.
happened.
Yeah,
I'm not,
So
right.
none of us here are the biggest fans of Evander Kane, But
No.
No, but
when
like
you
I
see
want to see him
somebody
healthy.
come back from an injury like that, and I know we've talked about it before, you're
Yeah.
probably sick of us being so like even coded about it.
Right.
But yeah, it is nice to see him come back. Also,
shit's
fuck you,
scary.
Evander Kane. You're kind of a dick, but
I mean, yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
glad you're
you're a
healed and
trash
doing well.
human, but we don't wish anyone harm.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
right.
accurate.
Yeah,
Best way to put it.
actually accurate.
You guys hear the ESPN report about Robin Leonard?
No.
So please put me on this, because what I saw was that he is filing for bankruptcy for anywhere from 10 to 50
yeah.
million. I don't know how they
So,
don't have a concrete
Apparently,
number.
he and his wife, and this is through ESPN. Apparently,
Okay.
he and his wife are filing for bankruptcy because they owe about like 50 million to an entire group of different creditors.
Wow.
You make that much money. Why are you using credit?
I don't know what
Yeah.
happened.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
You should be making, unless they have like 65 children or something. God
which
help me if anybody ever had 65 children. Anyway,
That's crazy. I'm
but
pulling
yeah,
up that
like-
article right now, Chris, and they owe more than 50 people
yeah,
and companies.
he's about 50 million in
companies.
debt. That's insane to dozens
I
of
thought
creditors.
my debt was
Chapter
bad, y'all.
7
Like,
bankruptcy.
I can't
Right.
get a credit card to save my life. If anybody wants to steal my identity, you can probably do some things good for it. But the fact that they owe that much money is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm somebody who lives
Interesting.
above their means on a daily basis. Okay, I spend money I haven't earned yet, but
That's a mood.
actually, that's kind of a lie because I don't have any
Oh,
credit cards, so I
my
have
God.
to have the money.
He has debts due to a collection of rare snakes purchased for $1.2 million in 2017.
That's
That's why
who
he's
else?
$50 million
Right?
in fucking debt.
Because I think it was Brent Burns had like a shit ton of snakes and stuff too.
Which
when
is
he lived
anyone's
in
surprise?
Minnesota. No,
It's fucking
but he
Brent
had
Burns.
they breed. Yeah, Brent Burns is one too that like breeds rare snakes and shit. So that does
That's
because I
crazy.
know that doesn't surprise me as much about Leonard, but it still does.
He has
you know
a
what I mean?
reptile farm in Plato, Missouri. That's surprising.
I'll put it to you this way.
Why
The
do you
amount
need
of
that?
debt that Robin Leonard is in, through his entire career, he hasn't even made that much money.
No.
His career earnings are 32.5 million and estimated around to his current
Yeah.
contract, which his current contract's a 5-year 25 million. He hasn't even earned what he owes people. Like, that's so
That's
insane.
crazy.
That's so just not the way to live.
No.
That's scary. Like,
I don't know what the hell happened.
I
right?
don't either.
Well, he bought a reptile farm. Let's be honest. We know exactly
For
what
one.
happened. Because
He's
most
also $4
likely
million
that farm
in
is
debt.
not like making money for Robin Leonard. Okay.
Yeah. No.
Most likely, maybe it is, but most likely it's not. But
I was gonna
that's
say
a
he's
lot
also
of
in debt up to $4 million to a Wisconsin company, claiming the NHL player and his father failed to make any payments last year on a business loan.
Yeah.
So maybe he
And-
co-signed it for his dad, and dad was supposed to pay him, didn't?
I don't know.
But
No, I
still,
mean, they
then
have an
don't co-sign for
LLC
shit.
together. Yeah, they have
Okay.
a LLC called Solar Code. And it's supposedly doing business in multiple states, including Nevada and Arizona. But they took out a business loan and never made payment on it. Which actually just settled in January of 2022. The company agreed to a 4-year repayment plan with Eclipse Service, but missed its first 5 payments, leading them to sue in 2022. Okay, so it hasn't settled yet.
Okay.
Dude. Leonard,
Yeah.
I love watching you as a goaltender, but as a person, you've made some terrible life choices, my guy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he's like
and
my
hopefully,
dude.
age.
Yeah.
He's literally our age.
He's 31, yeah.
Yeah, like what happened?
right.
31 with a 5-year, $25 million contract. So you're making $5 million a year, and somehow
Depending
you're
on what
$40
he's
million
making
in debt.
this year because he's missed the whole season. I don't even
Yeah,
know
he's
if
been out
there's
with
a
it.
contract
As he's
clause where
history.
he even gets paid this year.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jackass. Like that's
Yeah.
what else do you say?
It is.
Good
it
luck
is.
though filing Chapter
Just-
7 bankruptcy. Have fun with that.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah, like it's not.
It's not great.
I've never done it. My best friend did a number of years ago, but it just doesn't sound like fun.
Mm.
Odd about it. I'm
No,
sticking with
and we
my
won't see
idea
anything
somebody
for a
to steal my
while.
identity.
Yeah, please don't steal anyone's identities. Seeing as how they
You don't
just
have to
filed it
steal
on
my
the 30th of
identity.
December, we're not going to see reports as to whether or not the filing was approved or anything like that for some time now. The U.S. courts are backed up.
Right.
But we'll definitely keep an eye out to see if Robbie Boy gets off the hook.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he will.
I don't know, but man, I guess that's part of the thing of living in Vegas. You got to look like you
True.
can keep
Yeah.
up with Vegas lifestyle.
Yeah.
And evidently that costs $50 million to do. So crazy.
And a rare snake farm.
And a
Like,
rare snake
who does
farm.
that?
Yeah, a reptile in
A reptile
Missouri,
farm.
nonetheless.
Yeah,
in
That must
Missouri.
be where he's from.
No, he's from Sweden.
Swedish.
Oh, well, but is that where he's from in the U.S.?
No.
Like, are his parents
No,
there?
he's
like,
born
why,
in Sweden.
Why Seattle? Or why not Seattle?
Why Missouri? Nobody
Missouri?
knows.
He's never even played for.
There's no team in Missouri.
Yeah, there
Like
is.
who?
St. Louis.
Yeah, there's St. Louis.
You know what? I don't think that St. Louis is in Missouri. I forget that entirely.
I was gonna say 100% it is though.
No, like, I know that.
Is. It definitely is.
Like
Yeah,
educationally, I have been taught that, but in my brain, St. Louis is not in Missouri because nothing is in Missouri.
Listen,
Do you know what I mean?
The closest that he's even ever played to Missouri is when he played for Chicago. He's never played for St. Louis.
St. Louis is in Chicago.
Islanders,
or
Chicago,
in Illinois
and
in my
Vegas.
head.
Yeah. But yeah, man, like, and while you're off with your kid, like, trust me, I get medical bills fucking stack up quick, right? I understand that you've had hip surgery, that's enough money to owe, dude. Calm yourself.
Yeah,
Stop spending money.
Also, sell the goddamn snakes, dude. Like, the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, like,
sell the snakes.
Honestly,
sell the snakes.
Call up Brenty Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Tell him.
Think
Because I
about
think
another
he moved
crazy
his shit
asshole.
like to Utah or something. I mean, it's another random place that doesn't make sense, but it's at least closer than Missouri to where Brent Burns is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just crazy. It's just crazy. And I'm not trying to like shit on somebody that's in debt. We're all in debt, trust me. But
dude, what
that's
the
a lot
fuck?
of debt to accumulate.
Yeah.
When you're
especially
not
when
making
they're
money,
Well, and their assets are estimated to be worth up to only 10 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude. Just figure it out. Pull your finger out of your ass. Do something.
Right.
And maybe it's not just him. I mean, he's married, dude. Maybe his wife is part of it too. We can't assume.
All I'm
anything
saying
like that,
is, if my wife accrued up to $50 million in debt, divorce.
We'd be having a conversation for sure.
We'd be having some sort of talk.
Next, do we want to? Well, Dee, you had a topic you wanted to talk about, and it's
I did.
A little bit more of a serious one.
It is. We're here for the Deanna bummer moment. I feel like I'm always the one that brings up the bummers to this show.
That's true.
So let's head on over to the Dee's bummer corner, because
Dee's
that's
bummer
where the
corner.
show is headed for a minute. So we largely talk about the NHL on this podcast, of course, but occasionally we talk about players moving around in the ECHL and the AHL. And recently a thing came to my attention of a player who is it gets confusing. So I think
player was
he's
in
with the Peoria
ECHL.
Rivermen.
Yeah.
But he was commenting on an ECHL team of the Kalamazoo Wings. So recently, the Peoria Rivermen released Louis Rowe Friday night because of some homophobic content that surfaced on social media. Rowe was allegedly, which it's not allegedly, like he fucking did it. There's receipts all over Twitter. He commented on an ECHL post, the Kalamazoo Red Wings post, when they issued a Pride version of their logo. A lot of teams right now are having their Pride games, which we love to see. I know Caps, when we played the Minnesota Wild tonight, it was our Pride night, so we signed a bunch of sticks that had rainbow tape on it.
I love the
And
Pride Nights. I went last year.
I
to
love the
ours,
Pride
and
Nights.
And I think, not to toot our horn, and I might be wrong, but I think the Wild were the first team to do a Pride Night. I might be wrong on that, but I didn't. I remember them like not hearing it across the NHL until the Wild had done it. So, but again, I very easily could have missed it. I didn't watch hockey for a while because I was raising a human being to not like grow up and
It's a
kill
fair
people.
excuse.
So,
But it's something that like our group, we're all very much either we're somewhere on the spectrum, gay adjacent or straight adjacent, as we like to call Chris. Straight adjacent.
Straight adjacent.
Or we're allies, or we lie somewhere, on that spectrum, because sexuality and all that kind of stuff, it is a spectrum. Let's be very fucking clear about that. If you don't like it, find the fucking door. It's hard to miss. Anyway, so Bro commented on the K-Wings Twitter when they shared their team logo, and he said, "I knew the K-Wings were soft, but I didn't know they were gay, trans, and soft." Which obviously, like, that's fucking fucked up to say. Like, in so many ways, you're an asshole. In so many ways. Like, I could list them, but then this turns into Deanna just yelling for 45 minutes. We don't want that.
As much as we would all love to yell about it for 45 minutes. Trust me.
Right. Yeah. So obviously people saw it because it's on the fucking internet. Like, you idiot. I mean, first of all, you shouldn't be homophobic in the first place. There's no reason to be. Their life doesn't affect yours.
Right.
Let them be. But you also went out and very publicly spoke on it. So people then sent the tweets to the Rivermen's team. And then after their game Friday night, they sort of released Rowe, because they were also sent tweets that he had said previously. Now, these tweets too, which I'm not going to read, were written prior to him even being signed with the Rivermen. And so that to me brings up a whole conversation of what duty do these teams owe, such as the situation we saw earlier with the Boston Bruins. What duty do these teams owe to look into a player's background and determine whether or not they're fit for not only that team, but truthfully, when they get up into the NHL, fit for the league to play in? What kind of image are we wanting to put out? I will say that the Rivermen co-owner Bart Rogers said our organization does not condone that language, nor do we support that point of view or behavior. Those things do not represent the beliefs of our team, our partners, nor our fans, nor the great sport we play. It does not represent the values of our organization. We are shocked, and we have immediately released Louis Rowe. And again, that's one of those things where I'm like, are you that shocked? Because if you had done your due diligence, you would have seen this. On Rowe's part, he then tweeted out on Saturday, any organization that has a problem with the truth is no organization that I want to represent anyway. So Rowe, go fuck yourself.
Wow. Yeah.
I sincerely hope you never play hockey in a professional capacity again.
Right.
If that is how you feel about teams taking a stand for something that matters very much, not only to players in the league who are still having a hard time coming out of the closet for fear of people like you, as well as fans who want to enjoy the sport but are fearful of getting beat up at a fucking stadium because they can't authentically be themselves, you deserve to be nowhere near that sport entirely. Go suck a fat one, you lousy piece of shit. And that's how I feel about that.
I think you spoke for all of us.
Listen,
I fully agree with everything you just said.
As someone who's played the sport, and myself being an openly bisexual man, I'm always of the belief that if someone tweeted some stupid shit when they were like 16, listen, we're all young and dumb, we all stay dumb shit. People
we all
grow
learn
up,
in
people
adulthood
learn to be an adult.
What's okay.
But if you're an adult with this sort of mentality, knowing that you're in the limelight in some fashion.
I was just gonna say, and
he's 28, by the way. I should say he's an adult.
He's
old enough. He's old enough to know.
Yeah, it's not like he's 21. You know, I mean.
Yeah.
But like
21, 22 is when I would kind of be like, you know what, you should know better,
Yeah.
but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt here. But
Right.
you're 28
yeah,
years old.
you know better. And we're also in a time where like the world is so much more accepting. I mean, obviously when I was when I was in high school, you know, the late 2000s, early 2010s, like the world was so different, and it was hard to come out in a public way and play sports because there was such a stigma.
Yeah.
And like
Oh yeah.
The only thing I hope for him is that I hope that he gets an education and learns that there's no place, not only in hockey but in this world, for that sort of hate. You know,
Absolutely.
There's no need. You know, and like you said, you know, what people do in their lives has no effect on anyone else unless they're harming someone. You know.
Yeah.
And dude, do better. It's not acceptable at
It's
all.
really not.
It's
No,
not.
there's no need for it. There's
And
no
I
need
like
for
I
it.
said, I'll leave the angry rant part to D, and she's
'cause I'm so good
justifiably
at it.
annoyed, and I mean I am too, but
Yeah.
there just comes a part where I'm not even like angry. I'm just disappointed in him as a person. You know,
Right.
like
Yeah.
we all know better. Just that sort of stuff, and honestly,
Yeah.
like I'm happy that he was quickly removed. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm also in a different way about like teams making sure that they deep dive just in case, because again, someone could have said something stupid when they were 16. Doesn't always affect,
Well, and
you
so
know.
What
But-
I mean by that, though, is that they have a duty to look. If they find something, they have a duty to have the conversation. Be like, hey, we saw it. Like,
Right.
have you
Yeah,
been
like,
educated
this is
since
not-
then?
Yeah, and like
Right.
I'm down
like,
for that.
We want you to know that you cannot put this kind of stuff out into the world. It does not jive with our philosophy on life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they have, I think teams do have a duty to do that. If they reached out to him and they were like, again, if this tweet had been from 10 years ago and the kid was 18
Right.
saying
yeah,
this kind of
would've been
shit,
different.
and he was like, yeah, no, I realized it was just like a lot of internalized stuff, and I was,
In the wrong.
uneducated
Yeah.
in
Right.
whatever form or
Right.
fashion.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, okay, great. We're so glad that you read a book and welcome to the team. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's
Right.
fine with me. But I
Yeah.
do expect them to look and make sure that the players they're hiring are people that they want to be spokespeople for
Right, and
their
that's fair.
brand.
That's
well,
fair.
yeah, and role models. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
can't leave out the role model part of it, because these are people kids look up to. And again, I look at it and go, would I want my son to idolize and want to be like this person? And fuck no, I would not. You know, so
Yeah.
thankfully, I don't think I have to worry about any of that with my kid. But it's just one of those things
Yeah.
where as a parent, and I'm not this guy's parent. I mean, he's almost 10 years younger than me, whatever. But as a parent of a child in this world right now,
Oh yeah.
He was
no
an
need for that
impressionable
shit.
teenager.
Right. Who, you know,
Yeah.
does sometimes hear things on social media or from his friends and thinks that it's funny and says it and it's inappropriate. And like, that's my job as a parent to teach him why. And I definitely do that. But you're not making my job any easier, assholes.
Right.
So, like,
Yeah.
let's just...
Which, unfortunately, this comes on the heels of some other information that I literally just got. So I'm sorry to spring this on you. But evidently, Chris, you played them tonight. Ivan Provorov of the Flyers did not participate in warm-ups tonight because he declined to wear the team-issued Pride Night jerseys to celebrate the LGBTQ plus community.
Yeah.
The Flyers offered the following comment. The Philadelphia Flyers organization is committed to inclusivity and is proud to support the LGBTQ community. Many of our players are active in their support of local LGBTQ plus organizations, and we were proud to host our annual Pride Night again this year. The Flyers will continue to be strong advocates for inclusivity and LGBTQ plus community. And while I'm happy that the Flyers have issued that statement, to me that statement doesn't say anything about their
What they're gonna
player
do.
refusing to wear a Pride jersey, which again does nothing. Someone that I
You know-
follow, Peter Hassett, who is a writer for one of my favorite sports blogs, tweeted out, "It costs you nothing to be cool with LGBTQ plus people.
Yeah.
You are not diminished by it at all. I'm furious that this one insecure dipshit will overshadow what has otherwise been a positive night." And that's kind of where I land on it as well.
Yeah.
So we have Provorov being stupid and not warming up with his team
Right.
because he didn't want to wear rainbow colors
Rainbow,
on
yeah.
his jersey. And we have this Peoria idiot making hateful comments. And so I really, really hope that I continue to see the support that we've seen in the NHL community.
Yeah.
Players like Braden Holtby, who are like real big advocates. He is at DC Pride every year. I hope we see more players like that speaking up and letting their teammates know that that kind of behavior isn't tolerated on their own benches.
Here's
and I
my
think
thought.
that's what we're
Like,
going to see.
well, here's my thought is in a way, to your point, in retrospect, the just putting out a statement, I mean, it means it's just a statement, you know, and I don't feel like they need to completely just bash the player, this and that. I think PR move and just in general, just showing your support in that way, that's honestly, I'm okay with that. Action, I'm of the mind where actions speak louder than words, and I'm assuming that he'll probably have some sort of repercussions coming to him for, you know, for that, and that's fine with me. I'm not here looking for blood. I've never been the type of person, you know, that's out to be completely outraged and this and that, and people are, that's cool, you know, I'm fine with it. I personally, like, as long as he understands that what he's doing is a dick move, and the team moves on in a way, you know, whether it's suspending him or what have you, I'm cool with that, you know?
So I'm of two mindsets with this. For the issue we had with Rowe, that player, because he was so openly being homophobic, then I think the team needed to have cut him
you
loose.
have to
if
move
they
on,
didn't,
and
that's an issue.
yeah.
When it comes to the Flyers organization, I do believe that people are worthy of redemption. Again, Rowe doubled down on his beliefs. And so that's why I'm happy to give him the world's biggest fuck you send off.
Right.
If leaders in the Flyer organization, and that's not just like your general manager, I'm talking about on ice leaders as well.
Your players.
If they can get it through to Provorov that he doesn't have to be gay, he just has to not care if other people are.
Right.
Then there doesn't need to be any additional.
Publicly?
Yeah, exactly. Not publicly be an asshole about it.
Yeah. Knowledge is important.
If they can get
honestly,
that point
believe
through
what
to
you want
him,
in your private life,
then fine.
Whatever. But don't shit talk it. And then, you know, I have to think about the fact that look at guys like Luke Prokop, who is openly gay and was drafted by the Preds. I don't know. This was published last year or 2 years ago, July of 21. But I'm just reading this because I had to Google it because I was curious to see if there were currently any openly gay players in the NHL. And I don't know if he's for sure still playing with Nashville. He signed a 3-year deal with them in 2020. But think about
he's in the CHL.
He's in the CHL, so he got put back down, which is fine, you know.
Yeah, he's still in he's also 20 years old, so he's
right. Yeah, he's a baby. So he probably hasn't played for the Preds yet. He probably because he was drafted like as a prospect.
I believe he got traded last year and then signed a contract with the Seattle Thunderbirds.
Okay. But you know, I mean, and it's just and when he came out, like, listen to this, okay? So Nashville Predators tweeted after he said his like coming out tweet. They tweeted, all of Smashville is behind you, Luke. President CEO Sean Henry and President of Hockey Operations. And I know this is old, but it's interesting to read. It says, the Nashville Predators organization is proud of Luke for the courage he's displaying in coming out today, and we will support him unequivocally in the days, weeks, and years as he comes to develop as a prospect. A long-started goal in our organization is equality for all, including the LGBTQ community. And it's important that Luke feels comfortable and part of an inclusive environment as he moves forward in his career. And basically the other guy just said a lot of the same. But that's the kind of thing that we should be getting. You know what I mean? Like, not this, there's no room for it. It should be a support thing. So
also, I'd just like to say that, like, when you have people like Provorov who are openly being like, I don't support the community or whatever, it does breed a certain mindset in the NHL. And that's why we see things like the Kyle Beach incident, where he was assaulted by a member of his own organization.
Multiple
And
times.
people, multiple times, and people covered it up and blamed him because they assumed that it was part of, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I
they
heard
put the
nothing of this.
worst.
Wait, you
Oh,
didn't know
this was
about this?
several years
No.
ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was
This
a
came
really
out a
big
couple-
story.
this came
He
out
was
a
with the
couple
Chicago
years ago.
Blackhawks. What was it, 2017?
No, it came out
Or no,
more recent
2010.
than that.
Well, no, but the incident was
Oh,
in
it happened
2010.
in 2010, but it came out
Oh.
way more recent.
Yeah, it came out in I'm trying to find it
2019,
now.
I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
I
is
think
no
so.
need for that kind of shit in the league. There's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
And they finally reached a settlement, by the way, in 2021. It took years to settle this.
yeah.
I bet.
But the thing was that when he came out, people were blaming him, and he even identified as a John Doe to like try and avoid that.
Yeah.
But it was a huge
Oh,
story.
yeah.
And so when you have people
Yeah.
like Provorov, who isn't as bad as Louis Rowe, like let me be very clear about that.
Right.
When you have that, it just furthers the mindset that it's okay to. And again, I'm not saying that Kyle Beach is gay because I don't think that he is. He's never publicly said that, but he was assaulted, and so people assumed that he was a gay man who just didn't get what he wanted, and so now
Yeah.
he's suing. And that was the discourse we were seeing online because of it. And that discourse is only furthered when you have homophobic people who are allowed to open their fucking mouths and aren't in any way challenged by
Right.
their
Right.
peers and by the association.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. It's a
There's no
yeah.
need for it.
Yeah, it's
know,
a
there's-
weird time that we live in right now.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But it's also a great and exciting time that we live in.
Yeah.
You know, there's no need to be rude for who people love or how they live their lives. You know,
Right.
it doesn't
Yeah.
affect you.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
did you? So you said Brock McGinnis was talking about that? Is that what you said?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
No.
I heard Brock McGinnis, but that might be because I was
No.
looking at him too, because he is now like a motivational speaker and things, but openly gay as well. Although he hadn't come out until I think after he left the league.
After he played.
Right.
Yeah, I think
Um,
so.
So, but yeah, it
Yep.
just there's no need for that
Yeah.
shit.
Moral of the
At all.
story:
There's not.
be better. Just
Be
be
better.
better.
All right.
fine.
Well, because I went off on a little anger spree just then, we're gonna
We
shift
like
to
to see
some
the
good
feisty
news.
D.
D is our
Yeah,
anger
she
translator.
comes out every once in a while. Yeah.
I like feisty D.
If you ever need anger, just call me up. I'm here for you. Anytime.
It's
Anytime of
ironic
the
because
week.
as the New Englander, you'd think I'd be the one that got angry the most,
Oh, I know, right?
and I don't.
Yeah.
I get angry, just not all the time.
I
Always
can exist in a state of anger if I wanted to. It would not hurt me at all. That's not true. People should be happy. Anyway, let's talk about the 3 stars of the week. We're going to start off with our 3rd star, which is Nikita Kucherov, right winger for Tampa Bay Lightning. He has he's 3 goals, 4 assists for a total of 7 points over 3 games played. Obviously, really exciting for them that he helped the Lightning reach a perfect week with no games lost. 2nd star, we have Lucas Raymond, left winger for the Detroit Red Wings. He is also 3 goals, 4 assists for 7 points over 3 games, which also got them to a couple of victories as well. He began the week with consecutive 3-point performances, a first in his NHL career, so that is why he is getting the 2nd star per NHL. And then lastly, we have our 1st star of the week, which is Martin Jones, goalie for the Seattle Kraken. He went 3-0-0 with a 1.67 goal save average and a .933 save percentage, with 2 shutouts to help the Kraken earn 4 wins during their huge, successful 7 road game win streak, which was NHL breaking, which we talked about earlier. So Jones definitely helped them to get there. And I think if we do a score update, he might be helping lead his team to another victory over the Edmonton Oilers. At least they were up the last time I checked. That could change. Things changed. Nope, they lost.
They lost
5-2.
Oh man.
Bummer. Sorry, Jonesy.
Damn.
But you played well last week, and that got you the first star for NHL.
Yeah, man, listen.
Well,
Martin Jones is on one.
and Jones wasn't in net tonight, it doesn't look like.
Yeah.
So.
I thought he was.
I think
No, it looks
Groovy
like
was
it
in.
Camp. No.
No, I think he wasn't, because I thought I saw that was who Kane took a shot against.
No,
That was-
Campbell was in. Oh, that's for, never mind, that's for Edmonton. I'm a fucking noob. No, Jones was in.
Yeah.
I swear to
Jones did
fucking
play?
God, I'm a professional.
yeah.
Yeah,
Promise
Jones did
you.
play.
Yeah.
And led in
Listen,
5 goals.
Kucherov second in the league in points.
hey.
Or I'm sorry, he's third in the league in points.
And Chicago
yeah.
won, Chris.
Yes. Yes. I need them to keep winning. We need to keep losing.
Jeez,
But
Detroit and Arizona went to overtime.
wow. But
Yeah.
no, I mean all three of these players, yeah,
Yeah.
all deserving. They all had great weeks.
Absolutely.
100%.
You know, and I think players like Lucas Raymond are the reason that Detroit's got a bright future.
Well, after we talk about the good boys of the league, let's talk
The
about the
good
naughty
boys?
boys.
Ooh.
Of the
Oh, yeah.
We have no new suspensions, but we have a couple of
Mhm.
people with fines. Both of
And
these
like
occurred-
sizable fines too.
sizable fines. Yeah, both were $5,000 fines. Both occurred on January 12th. The first one was
What was in the
Clayton
water?
Keller. What? Yeah, what was in the
Was
water? And there were different teams. It wasn't like where the two guys who were playing each other both got fined. This
Right.
is different. But the so Clayton Keller from the Arizona Coyotes got a $5,000 fine for cross-checking Eric Brandstrom.
Mhm.
Oh, sorry. Date of incident was the 12th. The date of action is the 13th. That makes sense now.
Yeah.
And then Mikhail Sergachev from
Mhm.
Tampa Bay Lightning got a $5,000 fine for roughing Connor Garland.
Isn't this the second fine Sergachev's gotten this year?
I believe so.
He, at least in
no.
terms of
Yes.
in the last 12 months.
Yes, he got slashing against Michael Bunting.
I was gonna say this season
Oh.
back
he's been
December
yeah, that
20th.
was
he's been fined like twice this year.
That
Yeah.
was still Mikhail. Yeah, so this is his second
Wow.
$5,000 fine. So him alone
Sergachev,
has
chill out.
right.
Yeah.
Like, dude, we love the feisty. Chill a little bit. Don't kill
Right.
anybody out there,
For real, like chill out, yo.
right?
Take a deep breath next time.
Fucking do some yoga before going out on the ice. Whatever you
Yeah.
need to do to not lose.
I'm pretty sure, didn't he punch
Anyway.
Connor Garland in the face for like no reason?
I
Yeah,
did not
I
see the
didn't
clip.
see it, and you know me, like I want to go watch it. I haven't yet. I
Yeah.
know that there's a website that like you can watch all the clips. I forget what it is,
Mhm.
but it's a nice one.
Yeah,
But also,
I'm
look
watching
at
it back now. He just punched him in the face for no reason.
I mean, listen, don't punch people in the face for no reason. And
I mean, always have a reason if you're gonna punch
Like-
somebody.
yeah, absolutely, just have a reason first, and then you can punch somebody.
Right?
Oh,
How about that?
Maybe he deserved it. We don't know. But
I mean, he definitely didn't,
I'm gonna
because
say no.
he wasn't even
definitely didn't.
tussling with Garland, and he just came
No,
across
he
and
just-
just
Yeah.
cranked a right hand.
He
in
was just
his
like, "Fuck
face.
you know why? You know why? It's because
Why?
Garland gave his wife syphilis. That's
Mm,
why. Insider info right here. I'm totally kidding.
Yep.
Nobody report that, please. It's an ongoing running joke here at LTN Media.
it is.
Where every player
It
in the
is.
league has
I'm
syphilis.
totally kidding.
Yeah, everyone has syphilis.
Everyone has syphilis.
And everyone's still
Syphilis
alive.
party
It's
bus.
shocking.
That's right. What team was it that had the syphilis party bus that week?
Oh, the Islanders.
Islanders.
Oh,
I knew
yeah.
it was one
That
of those
checks out.
East
Islanders
Coast
had the
teams.
syphilis party bus.
Yeah.
Choo choo. Party train. Anyway, so going into Anaheim for injuries, I think this is just an update. Actually, no, this is a new one. Isaac Lundstrom broke a finger. He's expected to miss at least 6 weeks.
Oh,
So we're looking miss at least 6 weeks, but expected in late January. Your math doesn't add up there, Canada. Sports.
Oh, I think that means that he's. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah.
Because it says
I mean, maybe it's
updated.
just an update, and
Yeah.
that's what that
Yeah.
means. But whatever. And Justin Kirkland is the other one. He's on IR after being involved in a car accident. unfortunately. So thoughts, prayers go out to him. It's a rough way to, get on
100%.
IR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going into Arizona, Liam O'Brien is idle with an upper body injury, not expected to return until at least the end of January. But that is the only new one there. That one's new. So nothing new for Boston. Nothing new for Buffalo. Ben Bishop is still out. He's out for the whole season. Calgary still has Oliver and Brett Ritchie out. Carolina, we have an update on Andre Kase, who is still on the long-term IR with a concussion, but he may be back late January. Max Pacioretty. My mouth can't make those noises. Max Pacioretty sat out 2 games with a lower body injury, may or may not be active Thursday night when Carolina faces the Wild. I didn't say that out loud.
We hope he takes the full time needed to recover. We'll say that.
Right, yeah. No, we'd love to see him. I don't mind watching Pacioretty play. He's kind of fun.
Connecticut native, Max Pacioretty.
Is he a Connecticut
Yeah,
native?
he's from Connecticut.
Then I hate him. It's fine.
Then I hate him. I love it. Absolutely love it.
No love, ever.
I can't be the only one bringing the heat this episode, so thank you.
I mean, I started the night
I'm
off
always
with
the docile
violence.
one here.
You are, again, which is so funny because you're the New England
not
boy.
in general, but here
No.
you are. For
He's
I'm
well
for the-
behaved on the podcast,
I'm
but like
for the
on community
most
game
part
nights, he's fucking
docile.
vicious.
Right?
Oh, dude, I go hard in the
Right?
paint on community game night.
Yeah, don't even act like you're a fucking saint over there. I don't want to hear it.
A little bit of a saint.
Yuhar Kyra for Chicago is out indefinitely with a back injury, unknown when he will be back. Alex Stalock, who had a rough go of things the other night, from what I saw. Stalock missed the previous game while going through concussion protocol. Not known if he'll suit up. They played the Flyers on Thursday. And Jared Tenorti, an update. He wound up in the IR after having surgery to repair that facial fracture. He is unlikely to return to the ice sooner than the beginning of February. So I think that before it was, mid-February or whatever.
He's
but
the one that took
a little
the puck
update
to the
on him.
face, right?
Yeah. And he just dropped.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah,
he
that's
was
right.
out.
Yeah, I think we watched
that
few
one
weeks
together.
ago.
I think after the fact, where he got hit hard. For Colorado, we have a lot of updates. We have Bowen Byram moved to IR with a lower body injury, projected to remain out of action until at least the middle of February. We have Darren Helm, who was kept out of the last 2 games with a lower body injury. Not sure if he'll suit up against the Flames on Wednesday. Gabriel Landeskog wound up on an IR list after undergoing arthroscopic knee surgery. Will likely remain idle until the end of February.
You could tell where she's from because every time she says Landeskog.
Almost
Dennis
Canadian.
Melkin has been placed on IR with an upper body injury, most likely to return late February. And lastly, for Colorado, Josh Manson is on IR again with a lower body injury. Maybe back the middle of February. Not sure. So for Columbus, a lot of old injuries, which is why my brain had trouble there. The only real new one, there's 2 new ones. So we have Jonas Corposalo, right?
Mm-hmm.
No, you said Jonas. You think it's Jonas, not Jonas. Jonas, whatever your name is, sir, please tell us.
Mr. Corposalo.
Missed the last 3 games due to a personal matter. Not known if he will be in goal Thursday when Columbus plays the Ducks. And Carson Meyer is on IR with an oblique strain, which are nasty. Expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks, so late February, roughly. And that happened last week, Wednesday. So right after we recorded for last week. For Dallas, we have Roop. Hints?
I think it's Rupe.
I think it's Rupe.
Roop. Again, Mr. Hintz, whatever your first name is. He missed the last 4 games with an upper body injury. Not known if he will be in Wednesday's lineup versus the Sharks. As of right now, he is not on IR.
Okay.
I have a feeling where if he misses any more, they might end up having to put him on IR in order to bring somebody up. I don't know if they've got enough players, whatever. For Detroit, we have Philip Zandia, who hit the IR with a lower body injury, likely to miss at least 8 weeks. So that's an interesting one with no further info on it.
Yeah.
We'll have to
That
see
to me
if that
says
one,
knee injury.
right? Knee, ankle, it could be
And-
like a tibial fracture, but then they would probably say broken leg.
Yeah, and Zadina's a big loss for Detroit for sure.
For Detroit, yeah. And so for Edmonton, Ryan Murray is still out, of course, and then we have Kyler Yamamoto, who wound up on long-term IR list with an unknown injury and will be out indefinitely as of technically tomorrow, right? No, today is the 17th. Never mind. I'm done. I was like, this is weird. And for Florida, the only new one we have is Spencer Knight, who was placed on IR due to an undetermined injury.
Yeah, somebody added an N
Yeah,
where they were
it's
supposed to add a J.
Innery.
Yeah.
Somebody didn't proofread.
Right? And it's unknown.
They're
when
as drunk as we are.
Right. For LA, we have no new injuries. And I am proud to report the Minnesota Wild are the only NHL team right now with no flipping injuries. Let's fucking go, boys.
Round of applause.
Is it right? I mean, that's amazing.
Montreal, what the fuck you doing up there, Bice?
It's not going great.
Wow. That just keep fucking going. Jesus Christ.
10, 11, 12 people out right now.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I'm just glad it's not me for once. Although we do have some about, we'll get there.
You guys had
So we first have one of their goalies, Jake Allen, who is out indefinitely now with an upper body injury. Unknown when he will be back, because that's what out indefinitely means. We have Joel Armia, injured or found up on the injured reserve due to an upper body issue. Again, out indefinitely. Jonathan Drouin missed the last game with an unknown issue. We all know that means syphilis. He may or may not be back again to face the Panthers with his team on Thursday. Jake Evans, also out indefinitely on IR with a lower body injury. The severity of the ailment is unknown. So that's another real interesting one. Interesting wording, CBC.
Definitely syphilis.
Color me intrigued.
Color me syphilis.
Color me syphilis.
It's a lower body injury. I think syphilis takes up more than your lower body. So I think we can rule that out.
That's a good t-shirt idea. Right? Color me syphilis.
Color me syphilis. Let's not. Although,
I'd
do you
rather not have
remember
it.
you could buy like those little virus stuffed animals? Did you guys ever see those in the malls and stuff, like Spencer's and whatnot? And syphilis was like one that I found where it was like a little stuffed animal of the virus. It was hilarious and disgusting at the same time.
I'll pass. I don't need to cuddle up with syphilis at night.
You don't want to cuddle with syphilis? The fuck?
No. My feelings are way darker than syphilis ever has been, so.
Mood.
Anyway.
Going on, we have Brenton Gallagher, who is also on IR due to a lower body injury, likely to be out for at least 6 weeks. So we're looking at late February for Brendan to come back to the team.
Yep.
We have Emil Heineman, who has been sidelined with an upper body injury for a while. Maybe back later in January, from what I remember. Unless he was hurt, came back, and then is hurt again, which might be the case as well.
I don't think so.
Mike Matheson was put on IR with a lower body injury, but is most likely available to play Tuesday, so tonight against the Jets. I don't know for sure if he played. I didn't look that up. But may or may not be the case. Then we have Sean Monahan is on long-term IR due to a lower body injury, not projected to return until end of this month. And then Slavovsky. We're just going to go with that because I'm not even going to attempt your first name.
Slavkovsky.
what he said, is been shifted to the IR with a lower body injury or ailment, syphilis. He will likely miss an extended period of time. Okay. Going on to Nashville has no new injuries. Congratulations to them as well. New Jersey, we have Nathan Bastian shifted to IR list with an upper body injury, expected to return at the end of January. Going on to New York Islanders, we have Kyle Palmieri, who had been shuttled to the IR with an upper body ailment, and it's up in the air if he will return before the end of January. Adam Pelech,
One of the two.
all of them, all of the above. Adam
Definitely one of the other.
Pelech, we'll go with Pelech.
True.
Had been shifted to IR with an upper body injury, will remain out until the latter part of January. And Oliver Wallstrom is still out. He's out indefinitely. But he was also shuttled to IR, if anybody was curious.
Gotta get on that shuttle, man.
The head
Can't miss
ailment,
Right.
yeah.
I think that was the syphilis bus,
That's
right?
the-
Was the shuttle?
It must be the syphilis bus.
The Islanders
Right.
have an
Yeah,
injury party bus.
Well, it
Which-
is, because it's the Islanders.
The Islanders.
It is the
I just
syphilis
have to
bus.
say, really quick, we played the Islanders last night. Ovechkin laid a big hit on JG Peugeot, which some people think was dirty. Personally, it was clean. It was just hard because he's a big fucking dude.
He's the big fucking
And
dude.
so I am stunned not to see Peugeot on this injury list. He had a hard time standing up, and his teammate had to catch him from falling because he literally couldn't stand on his own two skates. He came
Wow.
back to play, and so we've praised the NHL before for their concussion protocol. This one I think they missed, and I hope
think it's a
that
concussion.
they have a little bit of a break, because I am convinced that man was absolutely concussed. There was no way, like he had to have been seeing stars. So, based off the way he wobbled around the ice for like a minute after the hit.
Right.
It was
Um,
bad.
Just saw it just now.
Yeah. Do you see how he
yeah.
like can't hold himself up? Like
Oh, yeah, it should have been
that,
a
I
penalty.
think the concussion
Yeah, they unfortunately
spotters.
play
Yeah.
tomorrow again. Or no, they
Yeah.
next 5.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a
Yeah.
dirty hit, but that he should have gotten penalized for boarding or a
They
charge.
unfortunately have 2 games in a row, tomorrow and Thursday.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
I'm wishing Peugeot all the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely
That's hard. I mean,
run
that
yourself.
happened with Ryan Hartman tonight, and it wasn't even that hard of a hit. He just had a hard time getting up. And,
Yeah.
got up on his own, but definitely took his time. I think Chris was in the call with me when the hit happened. I was like, oh no,
Yeah,
Yeah.
not Hartman again. We just got him
Not
back.
Hartman
I don't wanna
again. Yeah.
For New York Rangers, we have Julian Gauthier. I'm going to pretend like that's correct. Will spend an undetermined length of time on an IR due to an upper body injury. Libor Hajek. I'm going to pretend like that.
yeah.
Ooh. Missed the past 4 games due to that nasty stomach bug that we were talking about last
Oh.
week. Not known if he was going to play tonight against the Bruins. Thursday night against the Bruins. I can read.
I don't want to be
and
his
Chris
plumber right
Kreider,
now.
right? Sat out 3 games due to an upper body injury. He is also unknown if he will play on Thursday.
Not having Kreider is huge.
Yeah, that's a big one. That'll hurt him.
Yeah.
Hopefully he'll be back in time.
Right. Yeah. But, upper body injuries can be shady too, especially if it's your shoulder, wrist,
100%.
something like that, elbow.
Yeah.
Ottawa may be getting Matthew Joseph back. He's been activated off of IR after recuperating from that lower body injury, expected to play tomorrow, which is Wednesday, against the Penguins. So hopefully we'll see him in action and he'll do well. Because he's missed a lot of time from what I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been out for a while.
Josh Norris, also activated from IR after recovering from that
Good.
shoulder injury that he had. He also may play Wednesday against the Penguins. And then Artem Zub was held out of the last game due to a lower body injury. He also is undetermined for Wednesday's game. Going on to Philadelphia, no new injuries for Philly, which is also great.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
I mean, not for us, but yeah.
Right. Now I'm going to sneeze.
God bless.
Maybe.
Get out of her.
I'm trying to do the tongue on the roof of your mouth trick.
Mm.
For Pittsburgh, we have Tristan Cherry, or Jari, however you pronounce
Sorry.
which hurts my soul because he's my number one goalie on my fantasy team. But he is out indefinitely on IR with a lower body injury.
He's pronounced since the Winter Classic.
Yeah, he's been out for a while.
Yeah. Chris Letang is on IR again with a lower body injury, while he is also still tending to a personal matter. Like we talked about last week, his father did pass away. So we wish him, the time and space he needs while he deals with that. But he most likely is coming back in the late January. Like Chris said, he heard he may be coming back as soon as next week. So we'll see. If anything, Chris Letang has proved to us this year, he comes back quicker than we think he will.
Literally a week and not even a week and a half after having a stroke.
Flippin' stroke, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Ryan Poling is on IR with an upper body injury. Unknown yet when he will be back. And then Jan is how
Rutta.
I assume that is Jan Rutta, sat out the last game with an upper body ailment, will not be active for Wednesday's game against the Senators as of right now on CBC Sports. Going to San Jose, really only one new one. It's Scott Harrington, missed the previous 2 games with an upper body injury. Unknown if he will start be with the team against the Stars on Wednesday. For Seattle, we have Chris Dreiger. I can never say his name correctly.
Yeah, it's Dreiger.
Okay. He moved to IR after having ACL surgery, so will not be active until the end of January. So I think the update is that he could be back. Because no way that's a recent surgery with him coming back end of this month.
No, that's a 9-month thing.
Yeah. Jaden Schwartz missed the last 3 games due to an unspecified injury, syphilis, as we know. Undetermined if he will suit up Thursday against the Devils. For St. Louis,
which is in Missouri.
Which
we've established is in fact in Missouri.
We have Torrey Krug landed long-term IR list with a lower body injury, estimated to miss at least 6 weeks. We're looking at early to mid-February, most likely there. That was as of last week. Marco Scandella wound up on IR after undergoing hip surgery, predicted to miss 6 months. But the update there is mid-March. I think before he was out indefinitely on our radars. For Tampa Bay, we have Rudolph Balsier.
Has he even played this year?
I don't know, but he's got that upper body injury. He's been on IR. Not likely to be activated until the end of January. So it sounds like he's doing pretty well, but they're still going to give him a little bit of time to rehab it a little bit.
Yeah.
So
he did play.
Yeah. Technically.
Oh. This guy's name is Nick. Not Nickel. Here it says Nick Purvis.
Must have been
it must have been a typo on the other site. So I apologize.
Which is a funny ass typo.
Calling you Nickel. But he missed the last game due to an undefined ailment, syphilis. May or may not be in the lineup Wednesday against the Canucks, which is tomorrow as of time of recording. Toronto also Chibas. All but 2 of these are new. No, all but 3. We have TJ Brody, who has been shifted to IR with a rib injury. Remains to be seen if he will return before the end of the month. God, how great is this name? Pontus Holmberg.
It's a great name.
That is a great name, actually.
I just accidentally clicked on
Shout out to your parents.
Right.
If I ever have a son, I'm naming him Pontus.
Pontus, right?
Pontus.
Why? Why not?
Yeah.
Because I can, that's why.
Yeah, because my kid's name is Pontus, and I bet you he beats your kid up.
Right?
I bet you he does, actually.
So we have Pontus Holmberg sat out the last 2 games with an illness. Unknown if he will join the team when they face the Jets on Thursday. Victor Met has been added to long-term IR with a lower body injury, not expected to return any sooner than the end of January. Nicholas Robertson had been added to long-term IR list with a shoulder injury, will not return this season.
Yikes.
Which is...
That sucks.
a sucky situation. And then we have Rasmus Sandin, held out the previous game due to an illness. Probably, honestly, that stomach bug that we saw going around last week. Anyway,
He's
for
referencing
Vancouver, we have
Pontus, but it's Pontus.
update on Thatcher Demko, designated to IR with a lower body injury, expected to stay out until the end of this month.
Shout out Thatcher Demko. Great name.
Great
Also,
name.
yeah, we
The
say
name
that every
Thatcher
time.
is just
Name
I
your
know,
son
10 out of 10.
Thatcher. Made him a
Um,
badass.
It's very Knight's Tale.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yes.
What's your name?
God, what an
Steven. What's your
underrated
name?
movie.
Brian. What's your name? Thatcher.
Right. By the way, their 4 injured people right now are Thatcher, Travis, Tanner, and Tucker.
Fuck.
Damn,
Thatcher
all the
Demko,
T's.
Travis Dermott, Tanner Pearson, and Tucker Pullman. Why? 2 with the same initials. And 2 with the same
TDP.
initials.
I mean,
right?
Listen.
TDP.
TDP. So Travis Dermott sat out previous 2 games due to an unspecified injury. Unknown if he will join the team Wednesday against the Lightning. Tanner Pearson has landed an IR for undergoing hand surgery, will be out the rest of the season. And Tucker Pullman entered long-term IR. We've talked about him before. He has a significant migraine issue, expected to be out the rest of the season now,
wow.
which sucks.
Yeah, I
As
think
somebody who
previously it
also
was
gets
out
migraines,
indefinitely.
Yeah, same.
No bueno.
Yeah. I get migraines
But,
too all the time, and they're awful.
Yeah, and I just
Worst.
can't imagine like having to try to play hockey with a migraine, and the lights and the noise. Like I totally
There's no
understand
fun. Oh,
why
yeah.
he's out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Till he gets that figured out. For Vegas, we have William Carrier or Carrier, depends
Carrier.
on what, Cartier. Missed the last game due to an unspecified injury. Up in the air if he will join the team Thursday against the Red Wings. We have Pavel Dorofeyev.
Rofiev.
Sure, like you said, on IR due to an uncertain injury. Why so much secrecy? I know why they do it. It just pisses me off. Unknown when he will return to action. Brett Howden, they moved to long-term IR with that lower body injury. Is not expected to return until the end of January. We have Alec Martinez removed from the last game due to an unknown issue. Not known if he will play Thursday against the Red Wings.
He shit his
It's
pants when other
interesting.
people complained.
Like,
They were
that
like,
was
get the
true.
fuck out.
If that's true, I fucking would.
It's not. It's not. I'm a liar.
I would be here for it though.
Sorry, Alec. No hate. I just
Yeah.
think it's funny that the way it's worded is
Hey.
that you were removed.
Hey, John
So.
Cena once shit his pants under the ring in WWE, okay? So the greats have all shit their pants. Everybody's doing it. Come on. I'm shitting my
I have
pants. right now.
not.
I'm shitting
I
my
mean,
pants
I'm
right
gonna
now.
knock on some serious wood, but I have never not once, except for when I was a baby,
Yeah,
shit
same.
my pants.
Same.
I don't know that I actually have. I've come close,
Same. I've also come close.
but I don't think I actually have. Maybe I have. I don't know. Anyway, get off this shit pants.
What is this podcast? We ask this every week. What is this podcast?
Welcome to the Pucked Up Podcast.
Where occasionally we
They
talk
had
about
the
shitting our
stomach flu.
pants.
Yeah.
Well, and hockey players shitting their pants because it's about hockey
And we also occasionally talk about hockey.
once in a while.
Or yell about it if you're me.
But yeah, no, it's an interesting thing. I'm always intrigued when they keep so much secrecy to it.
Yeah.
Then we have Daniil Miromanov.
There you go.
I did it this time, guys, and it only took me 2 tries. Is out indefinitely due to a lower body injury. Mark Stone has sidelined with an upper body injury, uncertain to once or when he will return to action. And then Zach Whitecloud posted on long-term IR list with a lower body injury, will be out of commission until at least the end of January. So lots of people, it
That's a
looks
great
like,
name.
coming back.
Zach Whitecloud, yeah.
For the Capitals, your team is actually looking pretty decent now, Dean.
It was until
so-
fucking last night.
Well, no, it's just one person. Nick Dowd is the only new one.
I know.
But
But he's, like, huge.
He-
for our game. Not like as a person. I mean,
understand that he's huge. Okay, like
but he's like integral. So us missing him for any amount of time is a very sad day.
he was absent from the previous game. Oh, I see why you're saying this. You would have won tonight if Nick wasn't in. Is that what you're saying?
Honestly, yes. Yes, we would have.
For those
Nick
of you
Dowd
that
is
don't know, the
huge for
Wild and the
us.
Caps played tonight. The Wild won 4-2, but it was a great game. It was a very evenly well played game by both teams. D and I are just giving.
You
each
realize
other a
he's
little
only
bit
got
of
like 19 points this season.
It's not about his points. It's about what he does. He's super helpful on the ice.
Okay.
Like
But
him
that's kind of
and
hypocritical for what you
Hathaway.
said about Reeves.
But he has 19 points. How many does Reese have?
I'm just
5.
saying. Reeves has
I
5,
hate
but again,
Popcorn.
if you're gonna say that about Dowd, I'm just
But
saying.
Dowd has a positive impact on the ice. His impact is so Reeves is 5 points and -3. Dowd is what, 19 and I don't remember.
Oh, this is the best
I don't look at his
podcast
stats.
ever.
I didn't mean to reopen that.
That
Band-Aid.
is
It was
so great.
too funny not to.
I'm
say
just
that.
saying, like
He also
he
does
has
not
19
like Ryan Reeves,
points.
so.
He's plus or minus 9.
Dee hates Ryan Reeves, and that's
I
why
do
I
hate
love to
Ryan
give her a hard
Reeves.
time because since coming to Minnesota, I don't hate the man, but I
It's
get
because he's on your team.
no.
I would
you
still-
hate
I
him
would
because
still
of what
hate-
he did to Tom Wilson. That's why
No,
you
I
hate
would
him.
still hate Ryan Reeves if he was on my team. I would still hate him. Not because of what he did. I don't like him as a person. I don't like him as a person. I'll leave it at that.
Okay,
Anyway,
that's fair.
Anywho,
Understand.
19 points is also not nothing, by the way.
No,
it's
19
kind of those are
points is not
goals.
nothing. Is not nothing. Anyway, lastly, on to Winnipeg. I'm sorry again. We do the ADD disclaimer every week, but I can deal with it. Winnipeg just has David Gustafson out, upper body injury on IR. No timetable at this time for his return. And lastly, Logan Stanley, as the caboose of our injury report, on IR with a lower body injury, most likely not available until the end of January. Lastly, Chris, tell us about our obscure player of the week.
I
Pat,
shall
Chris,
indeed tell you.
do it.
This week, our obscure NHL player of the week is a man by the name of Todd Nelson. He played in just his playing career lasted from 1990 to 2002. He played 3 games in the NHL. He had 1 goal, which is dope. And
Good for him.
Can you gather a guess at what fun thing he managed to do? He managed to play one of those games in 1991-1992 for the Pittsburgh Penguins on their way to winning a Stanley Cup that year.
Very nice.
He also played for the Washington Capitals, where he played the other 2 games of his career. He went on to coach. As of right now, he is currently the coach of the Hershey Bears, or he was at least the coach of the Hershey Bears.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah. I didn't realize that was the same guy.
Yep, he is currently serving
honestly, I didn't realize
as
he had
the
ever played.
coach of the Hershey Bears.
Yeah.
Right on.
Good for him.
But yeah, he had a long career in the minors. So yeah, that is your obscure
Very
NHL
fitting that he
player
would
of the
become
week.
a minor league coach then.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, he coached a little bit in the
Yeah.
bigs. He was at one point an assistant coach for the Atlanta Thrashers. We now know what happened with them. Never forget.
Yeah.
Fun fact that I love to bring up about the Winnipeg Jets. Do you know who the all-time leading scorer in franchise history is for the Winnipeg Jets?
No.
Ilya Kovalchuk. Do you know the funny part about it? Ilya Kovalchuk has never suited up for the Winnipeg Jets
That's so fucking
because
funny.
I think you've
because
talked
they
about that one.
relocated from Atlanta.
That's
He was
right,
the Atlanta
yeah.
Thrasher.
Yeah.
So the joke is Ilya Kovalchuk the Jet.
Right.
Oh, I love that stat. That's the funniest
That's
fucking
so
stat.
funny.
That is a funny stat.
But yeah, that is your obscure NHL player of the week.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And congrats, Todd, for spending 5 seconds in the NHL. And then an even longer time in
Winning
the
a fucking
AHL.
Stanley Cup.
Congratulations.
For real.
Yeah. I mean, for the wrong fucking team if you're going to go coach at Hershey, but like, whatever. That's fine.
Anyway, on that note, no, I'm just kidding. I think, though, that will wrap up our show, unless either of you have anything else you'd like to add tonight.
Other than be sure and leave us a comment if you disagree with any of our takes. If you agree with them, definitely leave a fucking comment about that. And hit us up on any of our social medias. It should all be where that kind of information is on wherever
Indeed.
you're watching this.
Also, I haven't said his name yet in this podcast, but I'm going to say it. Connor Bedard.
No, wait, hold on.
I literally, oh no, that was in our
Wait.
chat before the show.
I took a picture of it. Last 10 games played, he has 17 goals, 22 assists, 39 points, and 67 shots.
The kid's a freak, and I want him to play in
Wow.
Anaheim.
Also, a picture I took for D. Now most of my photo roll is like hockey things that I saved for the show. But 1 year ago, as of yesterday, the 16th, all of the Canucks lineup has had 280 goals.
Okay.
And Ovechkin was at 276. So that's just
insane.
a little fun little stat
That's fucking
from last
crazy.
year.
Yeah.
Right?
It is actually insane.
That's so funny though.
Yeah, I mean, make sure you guys are following us on social media and stuff too. Social media, hit us up on our Discords, or Discord, single Discord. I mean, unless you want to join.
Don't have more than one. Please God, I don't have time.
Dude, same. I mean, also check out our merch store. We have some dope stuff over there. Within, I want to say the next couple months, we might have some more specific, like pucked up specific stuff. We do have the Educate Me shirt up there. The Educate Me Daddy shirt.
Educate Me Daddy.
Which is a great thing that we came up with.
But yeah, we definitely are looking and working on designing some other merchandise for Pucks Up.
Yeah.
I know we've been looking into other stuff too.
Absolutely. So we are, a growing company and a growing production here, and just come and hang out with us. We'd love to have you. But
absolutely.
As always, lastly, never forget, we love you, motherfuckers.